Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy, and today I'm going to tell you a story about my life, and a story about my journey back to Christ. This is something I never thought I would have the guts to put out into the world, but I felt very compelled to. I lived a good life, I think, so far. I'm 26 years old, and there's things about my life in this channel and in these videos that's not going to be easy to hear for a lot of people, and I think it's important for me to tell them. Um, these are my own views. This is my own life experiences. Everyone's going to have something different, and I'm not saying that these are the only views. And once I get started, you'll know what I mean. But for the past 10 years, starting in about mid-July, is when everything changed for me, probably more towards the beginning. I lived a homosexual lifestyle for about 10 years of my life. I never had sex with another man. I never really kissed another man. Well, I sort of kissed one when I was just really confused and still very, very young in life. Um, because I just woke up one day. I was at a library when my father would used to take me to the military library. The my town that I was living in had a library. The the base had a library, and I got to looking on the computer, and this was years and years ago. Like I said, this was probably close to about 10 years ago, and I just thought, yep, I guess I'm gay. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really interested in girls that much right now, so I guess I'm gay. And I said that to myself for years, and then it came out to my family, and they accepted me, and it was wonderful. But every time I would get close to somebody, whether it was using online dating sites or people in real life, I just felt like this overwhelming feeling of this is wrong. And I didn't understand why I kept feeling that way. And I just wouldn't let it bother me. And then there were times where I would get close to somebody, and then I would delete the account or delete the messages and just say, I don't want to do this right now. This doesn't feel right. And I felt bad for them because they were just getting to know me, and some people even started using the I love you word with me, and that destroyed me, knowing that I hurt someone else that I'll probably never even see or speak to again. But I think it was better off that way for me. I didn't want to hurt them that way, but that feeling kept coming back over and over again, and it wouldn't leave. That feeling that I would look at another man, and I'm gonna be frank with you. I'd say, "Wow, he is hot. Yeah, he's hot." But in all these dating sites, I was never looking for someone to be with forever, or I was never looking for a long-lasting relationship. I was manipulating people in terms of just to have sex, because I wanted to have sex. I didn't care about them as a person, and I was a horrible person back then when I was doing those things. Because I was selfish, and I let my lust desires to have sexual relations for somebody take over my whole life. I'm 26 years old, and I'm still a virgin, and I'm proud to be, because I'm happy that I haven't completely, had that experience with somebody, and at least this way, when it does happen, if it does happen, it'll be with somebody that I truly love and that I want to spend the rest of my life with that person. And in July of this year is when everything changed for me. I was living that lifestyle with nobody's business, and it worked out fine. I was fine with it, and then I listened to a song, and if you can hear it, I have it playing in the background. It's called "How Love Wins," and it's written in the perspective of one of the thieves that died on the cross right next to Jesus. And it's by, one second, I forgot the name of it. Stephen Curtis Chapman. He's become one of my favorite Christian artists in the past couple of months, and I've really enjoyed a lot of his music. It spoke to me on such a powerful level that it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible for me to completely explain how powerful and how much that song affected me. And then I feel like that was God's way of speaking to me. I feel God not only speaks to me through my Bible, but I feel like he also speaks to me greatly through music. Because, my whole life I've had my problems with God in terms of I want him to talk to me personally, like talk to me in my own head, that I can hear him and I'm the only one that hears him. That's how I wanted him to speak to me, and I never got that. And that's okay, because even though even in that 10 years when I was not with him, I was going to church, I was going to Wednesday night supper, I was going to church, but my heart was not in it, if that makes any sense to you guys. It wasn't there for me. And that's something that I've struggled with, that through my journey of coming back to Christ, I realized this is going to be different. I'm not going to go back to that life. That life is gone, and I still struggle with those temptations of sex with a man and looking at other men in a very lustful, sinful nature. And a lot of people have told me, well, maybe that's just because this is who you are. And I'm like, how can that be if I know it's not right for me, just for me? And it can't be that way. I can't live my life knowing that I'm making the wrong choice. And the fact that Jesus died for me and gave up his whole life for me, just for me to throw it away, knowing that this is not what God wanted for me. This is not what he wanted my life to end up being. It was a life changer, and it's something I can't completely explain. But I've been wanting to make this channel for quite some time. I was afraid of maybe people's views, maybe people's hatred, because the world, in my heart, I believe Jesus is coming soon. The rapture of the church is imminent, and it is coming so quickly. I believe that. I felt like God was pushing me to do this channel and to share these kinds of videos with you guys. And in every video, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself and a little bit about my life and my experiences. A lot of this was gonna go into a book, and I was gonna publish it, but I think these are just a little bit more intimate videos, and I just feel like I may still work on the book, and you guys still just may get like a rehash of everything I've talked about, but Jesus is in my heart, and what made me realize of how special I am and how special God is was, even though I went off on the bandwagon massively, he never left me. He's been with me every step of the way. And I believe that sometimes maybe God allows us to slip off into a darkness that is so beyond what he wants for us. I believe he lets us go down those kind of waters only for him to be able to drift us back to safety, back to where we're meant to be, so he can show us how not right this path is, so we can go and find the right one, a one that is closer to Him and His presence. I believe that. You don't have to believe that if you want. You can call me every name in the book. You can call me a complete idiot if you want, but that's what I believe, and I'm not choosing to believe that. It's what I actually believe. I know being a Christian these days, there's so much hatred surrounding it because everybody's like, every Christian is judgmental. Trying not to judge people is something I struggle with on a daily basis, and it's something I probably should not do, but it is one of the hardest things not to do. And I think it also very much depends on where you live. I live in Minnesota, so these people up here are not exactly the nice Christian people I'm used to being around. Has been for 5 years. So, but I'm hoping to change that, and I'm hoping to go to a much better place in my life. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and share it with your friends, and if this can help somebody, or maybe make people realize that they're not the only one that deals with these things. But in me leaving the homosexual LGBTQIA community, I still very much respect them, and in a weird way, even though it's not what God wants, I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be able to love whoever they want to love. So in that aspect, there are a few things in the Bible that I do have issues with, in terms of, homosexuality. I don't really view it as anything that to me, I don't really see that there's anything wrong with it, or transgenders or anything like that. Um, Maybe that's just how I was raised, or maybe I'm just a honestly good person that honestly thinks that everyone deserves to be happy. I left that life because I felt like it wasn't the right choice. It felt like it wasn't the right thing for me. It didn't feel right. And I felt like this wasn't the path I was meant to be on. And so I chose to leave that. And I know that God had a huge part to play in helping me get to that realization and that choice. So I will see you guys next time. These videos are going to be a little bit more sporadic, but I'm going to try to get at least 2 episodes every month for this new adventure. And I will see you guys next time on Journey to Christ. I'll see you guys later. Bye.